Hello, pen testers. This is Punit Darji back again with another video. And in this video, I want to tell you something. Back in 2021, I have created cloud pen testing videos and I have unlisted those videos due to some reason. So I have created series of cloud pen testing videos and I have created based on scenarios and real life experiences that I have faced during my pen testing and red teaming tasks. Also, I have used Cloud Goat while I was learning the cloud pen testing. So let me introduce myself. So I am Punit Darji, head of product at World Machines, where I develop labs, CVs, and create posts. So man behind the worldmachines.com, that is me, Punit Darji. So those who don't know about the World Machines, so World Machines is cybersecurity learning platform. It's totally free. So World Machines project is acquired by the SecOps group. So please ignore that premium lab etc. in this video because I have created this video earlier back in 2021 that I have already mentioned. Now enjoy this video. So let's move on to the first scenario. So the first scenario is something like you have only IP address and you need to identify the secret files and documents. So this scenario is inspired by the real life example, the Capital One breach. So in case if you are unfamiliar with the Capital One breach, here is a brief summary about it. So in 2019, an attacker accessed the data stored in AWS bucket owned by the Capital One and posted those data on GitHub. So the attacker gained the access to S3 bucket by exploiting misconfiguration AWS service to run the commands on EC2 instance. So in addition, EC2 instance also had identity access management rule assign or IMA rule assign, which allows anyone who had access to the server to access AWS resources such as AWS S3 bucket. So the attacker also brag about their action on Slack channel and Twitter. So this is the real world scenario, and this scenario is inspired by the real life example Capital One breach. So if you want to read about more thing about if you want to read more about Capital One breach, I will provide the link in description box. So let's understand walkthrough about the application or about the attack. So as I mentioned earlier, so we have EC2 instance or EC2 instance IP. We will identify the exploit misconfiguration, reverse proxy to the query to EC2 meta services. Third point is find out the IMA role associated with the EC2 instance and create own profile. And finally, exploit the S3 bucket content with the stolen EC2 instance profile. So this is the scenario and this is the walkthrough how we are going to attack this particular EC2 instance. So requirement to perform this attack, first thing first is AWS CLI and secondly good internet. That's it. This is the requirement to perform this attack. So let's move on to the demo side so you will get the better understanding. Visit worldmachines.com and here I am passing my credentials. So if you have purchase the premium, then you will get the access of cloud pen testing labs. So if you are interested to get the cloud pen testing lab, then contact us. So go to missions and select the cloud pen testing. So we are solving the cloud breach lab. So click on the cloud breach. So cloud breach and as you can see the target, click on the target and this is the simple target website. As mentioned, you have the IP address of AWS EC2 instance with the misconfigured reverse proxy and you need to exploit the misconfigured reverse proxy to get the document or the sensitive information. So let's understand first what is reverse proxy. So a reverse proxy server is a type of server that retrieves the resources on behalf of client from one or more server. So let's start with the latest in the web URL. So pass the URL latest, and as you can see, nothing we get. Now let's try with the curl command. So just copy this URL and open the terminal and curl command and pass this URL. So as you can see, the error is showing that proxy request to the EC2 metadata service modify the request with the host header. So whenever you add the host header, always try with the public IP and private IP. So let's try with the first public IP. So again, just type the curl command and add the host header. So curl command and add the host header with the host and pass the public IP. Okay, public IP. So still we get the same error. Now let's try with the private IP address. So cloud private IP address is 169.254.169.254 and uh, hit the enter. So host header I have set with the private IP address. So private IP address is 169.254.169.254 and hit the enter. So as you can see, the response we got the response metadata, user data and dynamic. So here is the misconfiguration of reverse proxy. The reverse proxy server is a setup in a way that anyone can set the host header to call the instance metadata API and obtain the data. So we have add the host header with the private IP address and call the metadata API and get the data. So this is the important part. This is the misconfiguration of reverse proxy server. Now let's enumeration, the most important part for our attack, the enumeration of IMDS. Before that, let's understand what is IMDS. So IMDS stands for Instance Metadata Service. So metadata is data that provide information about other data, and in other words, metadata is data about data. This is the universal definition. In AWS, instance metadata service provides data about your instance that you can use to configure or manage the running instance. So instance metadata is divided into the categories, for example, host name, events, and security group. So every instance has access to its own MDS using any HTTP client request such as curl command, and as you have seen that we have set the host header, and in the host header we have passed the latest in the public IP address. So using curl command we have passed the this particular command. So most important part for our attack is enumeration of IMDS. So let's understand one by one. So first is IAM. So IAM stands for Identity Access Management. IAM allows you to manage users and their level of access to the AWS console. It is used to set users permissions and roles. It allows you to grant the access to the different part of AWS platform. So AWS Identity and Access Management is a web service that enables the AWS customer to manage users and users permission in AWS. So this is all about IAM. Second most important is IAM credentials. Second most important is the identity credentials. So it is the most important part of enumeration, because identity credentials is the about roles, assigned policies, access keys, token keys, and all the sensitive information that's stored in identity credentials. So each IAM identity can be associated with one or more policies. And third most important part is user data. So AWS user data is a set of commands you can provide to instance at a launch time. For example, if you are launching an EC2 instance and want to have the Python or Apache install on newly launched EC2, then you can provide a set of bash command in user data field of AWS configuration page. After launching the EC2, it will be installed automatically mentioned in bash file. Whatever the software that you have mentioned in bash file, it will automatically install. So moving forward, we will first pass the latest slash metadata with the host header. So let's pass the latest slash metadata. We will pass the host header private IP address, and we'll use the curl command only. So let's copy and paste and hit the enter. So as you can see the metadata information, so as you can see IAM directory is there and a lot of other instance related data is there. So let's focus on IAM. So let's pass the IAM and hit the enter. IAM, and as you can see in the response we got the info and security credentials. So let's pass the info. Okay, it's showing 404. So let's pass the IAM slash info, and as you can see the information about instance profile and the profile ID, this information available only if IAM profile is added to your instance, otherwise you will see the blank response. So this is the requirement. So IAM should be added to your instance. So let's pass the security credentials. So let's copy the security hyphen credentials. Okay, just credentials. Okay, let's remove and paste and hit the enter. So as you can see in response we got the rule name. So IAM role name is CG banking WAF role. So this command reveals the Amazon identity and access management rule associated with the instance running. So this particular instance running with the IAM role CG banking WAF role. So moving forward, let's see the pass the rule name and see what response we get. So let's copy and let's copy and paste. So in response, we get the access key ID, secret key, and the session token of IAM instance profile added to this particular EC2 instance. So this credentials is temporary one, and you can see in the expiration date as well. So this is the temporary credentials. So again, this information is available only if IAM rule added to your instance, otherwise you will see the blank response. So moving forward, we will create the profile, and before that we need to install the AWS CLI on your machine. So for download the AWS CLI, just type Google AWS CLI. I am using Windows, so just pass the Windows. So on the first link, the aws.amazon.com/CLI, and you can see the Windows, Mac OS and Linux. You can download from here only. So I will provide the link in description box as well. So you can download the CLI from aws.amazon.com/CLI. So let's moving forward. So I will configure the profile. So AWS configure hyphen profile and give the profile name. So here I am giving the cloud breach. So cloud breach. So you can give whatever name you want. So hit the enter, and they are asking for the access key ID. So let's copy the access key. Let's copy and paste it over here. Okay, just copy and paste, hit the enter. They are asking for the secret key ID, so the secret key is also over here. Just copy and paste and hit the enter. So leave the default region default, so just hit the enter and so our profile is generated. So our profile is generated. Now let's try with the AWS S3 list bucket. So AWS S3 list ls and give the profile cloud bridge. Before that, let's understand what is AWS S3. So AWS S3 is a simple storage service that provides the object storage, which is a build for the storing and recovering any amount of information or data from anywhere over the internet. So it provides this storage through the web service interface. While designed for developer for easier web scale computing, it provides 99.9999% durability and 99.99% availability for of object. So it can also store the computer files up to 5 TB in size. So this is all about the S3 as mentioned in the website. So you can check what is the block storage, what is object storage. I will provide the link in description box. So let's moving forward. We will do the S3 bucket list. So AWS S3 ls hyphen profile and give the profile name. So let's pass the command AWS S3 ls and profile. So profile name is cloud bridge and let's see what response we get. So this is the error. So if you face this kind of error, just add AWS underscore session underscore token in credentials files. So let me show you how we can add the AWS session token in credential files. So I'm using the Windows and for the Windows cd.aws and just type the dir. So you will see the two different files, config and credentials. So just open the credential file and add the AWS session underscore token is equals to and pass the this token. Let's pass, copy and paste it over here and save this file and again try to run. So just cls and hit the enter. So hit the enter and we will see the different kind of buckets we get. So in the response we get the 6 different buckets. So for this particular configure profile. So as you can see, these are the buckets that are listed in the S3 bucket. So now let's dump the buckets in our machine, local machine. So before we dump the S3 bucket, let's create the folder and dump into that particular folder. So I'm just going the desktop and create the S3 bucket dump. Create a folder S3 bucket dump. So passing the command mkdir S3 dump and go to that S3 dump. So here I will dump the S3 bucket. So just S3 list because I require the S3 bucket name. So we will use the synchronize command to copy the file from the S3 bucket to a new folder. So AWS S3 synchronize sync S3 and they give the bucket name. So here the first bucket name, so giving the dump location, so current dump location and give the profile hyphen profile and the profile name. So cloud breach, the profile name is cloud breach, and hit the enter. So as you can see, it has downloaded the S3 bucket dumps. So we are focusing on the flag file. So this is our secret file. Let's open the flag file. So let's open. These are the sensitive files. So we are focusing on this particular file. So just copy. So this is all about the lab. So this is all about the lab where we have identified if you have only IP address with a vulnerable reverse proxy server or misconfigured reverse proxy server, how you can dump the S3 bucket and other sensitive information. So to summarize this particular lab or this particular attack, so first we have the IP address, EC2 instance IP address. Second, we have identified the misconfigured reverse proxy server using the curl command. And in the curl command, what happened in the backend side while performing the curl command? So when the HTTP request is made to the proxy server, it contains the instruction to the host. We as an attacker can manipulate the host header to fetch the other data on the proxy server, such as IAM credentials, as we have seen. So the command returns the access key ID, secret key, and the session token of the IAM instance profile attached to the EC2 instance. So this credentials is temporary one, as we have seen, and the expiration date as well mentioned in the data. So fourth part is we have list the S3 bucket using AWS S3 list ls command and given the profile name. So and fifth part, we have copied the S3 bucket in our local machine using synchronize command. So this is all from my side. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you like this video. If you like, then share with your InfoSec friends and subscribe our channel. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.